Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. Today I want to talk about a subject a lot of people have questions about. I want to buy some land, I want to get a bug out location, I want to get a retreat property. What do I need to look for? These are some of the more important ones. I've definitely left out some, so add in what you think. There's definitely some that I've left out. I think the first one, if you're looking for a piece of property, and this would be for a retreat property to develop a homestead to be self-sufficient in a WROL situation. Probably the biggest thing is water. Definitely an open source of water, be it a creek, a spring, a lake, a pond, something that guarantees you can get water to purify with no means of electricity or pumping. It's right there at the surface and you can collect it. I think a spring located above where you're going to locate your house or your cabin is worth thousands of dollars. If you can develop that spring, pipe it to your house, and only use gravity, it's awesome because you're not relying on electricity or a pump. You're relying on gravity. So it will be there in a raw situation when we lose these things, and it will also be there right now, so you don't have to run an expensive pump and electricity. So you're going to be saving every day. I think the next thing would be is a fertile ground. If you could buy property that is wooded, partially wooded, and partially already open with established fields, it'd be very important. A lot of people that I deal with they say, I'm going to buy this property and I'm going to clear all these trees off and I'm going to put a pasture in there. This takes a lot of money. Bulldozers are not cheap. Doing it by hand is an option, but it takes you so long. So to properly clear it and get all the roots out, get all the stumps out, heavy equipment is needed, and this can cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And really a few thousand per acre if it's heavily wooded. So if you can find a piece of property that is already established pasture, after they clear the land, it's going to take time for you to get your grass established. Very hard. So if it's established grass, it's worth thousands of dollars. Next, and these are not in any particular order, a network of preppers. If you can find a network of preppers and move in their general area, even if you can't move next to them, but it's a few miles down the road, you can definitely communicate with radios. This is a huge plus, because if you join, they might already have a dentist, a doctor, and all these other people and skills. So it really helps you out to get into a network of established preppers. Probably I would look for off major highways. You do not want to be along high avenues of approach, so people will normally just be coming near you, and in a crisis situation they could funnel right into you. So look out for the big highways, try to stay off of these. The more remote the better. I would look for an established farming community with some light industry. In a total collapse, that light industry will be necessary to repair things, to build things. So heavily agricultural, but with some light industry. Nuclear power plants, I would try to stay as far away as I could. Probably 25 miles would be good. Not the best, but 25 miles. If you can get upwind from them, so if they go crazy and they have a release, it will drift away from you. The biggest problem is not the reactor, but it's the cooling ponds. If the cooling ponds can't have the liquid and stay cool, then that's a huge problem. So look for nuclear power plants. Next is prisons. If you're going to be right next to a large prison, this could cause some problems. Small local prisons aren't that big of a deal, but large prisons, you do not want to be near those. And probably dams. If you're downstream from a huge dam, if that dam goes, well, that puts your property in danger. I would look for a city. You want to be close enough to have normal life. Nobody wants to live way out in the boondocks where it takes 2 hours to get to a store. This is not fun, and it will also might cause stress in your marriage if your wife needs to go shopping a lot or being out, and you live hours from these places, even going out to dinner, going to see a movie. You need to get a happy medium where everyone is happy in the family. Now, if all of you guys want to be far out, then that's good. But you need to be able to go shopping and do other normal activities. I would say medical facilities, especially if you have a medical condition right now and you put yourself an hour or so away from a hospital or from doctors, this might cause problems. So having a good quality hospital close by where you can get to an emergency is very important. Next is church. If you belong to a certain religious group, make sure that those people are in that area that have a church there. You don't want to be moved to some area and you have no one that you can relate to spiritually, that will make you lost. Schools, if you have kids that go to public school or private school, make sure there's a good school in your area. Don't buy a piece of property and realize, oh my goodness, there's no schools. Look for schools. If you homeschool, look to see if the state or the area is friendly to homeschoolers. Defendable. There's a lot of things you could do if you buy a piece of property to increase the defense of that property. But look at it. Is this property defendable by the natural terrain features that are there? Try to find a piece of property where the physical landscape will stop armored vehicles, stop tanks. If you have heavy timber, they can't go through this. If it's swampy, they can't go through this. So find a piece of property that will take the advantage away from whoever it is that have mechanized forces. Next, building codes. You might want to build a cabin off-grid with not that many building codes, and you want to do it improvised. So don't buy a piece of property where they heavily inspect everything. You're not going to like it, and you'll be frustrated. So look at the building codes. Make sure that you can live and work with those. Make sure no homeowners associations. A lot of people that are in there, and right now they want to have chickens or rabbits or a garden. I know people personally that are having this problem. They can't do them. So don't get into a homeowners association if you can help it. Next, I would investigate your local sheriff. Is he supportive of the Second Amendment? Just study him out. See if he will sign off on Class 3 firearms, so you don't have to go through a trust to get him in your county. This is a big thing. See if he's pro-gun and pro-Second Amendment. Next, I'd look at the taxes. What's the tax structure? If you're going to buy some property, find out how much you have to purchase to get qualified as agriculture. Sometimes it's only 5 acres. So if you get over 5 acres and it's just trees, that's agricultural. You have trees. So be very specific when you look for this. It could be huge savings, even if you just have to buy a little bit more land. It will pay off in the long run with a lower tax bill. Check the crime rate. Find the county you're going to live in and check it out. Make sure the crime rate is low. This would be very, very important, because you don't want to go into a rural area but they have a high crime rate. Maybe they have a meth problem, and there's a lot of break-ins and a lot of stealing. I would also look at rainfall. How much rain does this area get? I want to farm. I want to do all this. Do I have enough rainfall to grow what I want to grow, or do I have another source, a creek or a pond, where I can supplement my rainfall? Very, very important. And check out the growing season. Is the growing season what you want? A lot of people say, well, you got to be out in Montana. That's a great place. A lot of us just can't pick up and move to Montana, and Montana has a short growing season. So if you do have a short growing season, are you financially able to maybe put a greenhouse in, do something that will give you an extended growing season? I gave a few things here. There's probably a million more. What can you add? What would you look for? Probably the last thing I'm going to say is, people say, how much land do I need? I need 40 acres. You don't need 40 acres. It depends what you want. You can get by with 2, 3, 4 acres if it's quality land. If you just want to raise rabbits, chickens, ducks, maybe have a couple pigs. If you're not looking for horses or cows, you can grow a lot of food. You can raise a lot of livestock in such a very small area. So, don't be discouraged and say, I got to get 40 acres. No, you don't. If you got 4 acres of good quality land somewhere, you can definitely make a homestead out of it. Now, there's some people that have a homestead right now, and they're trying or looking at a bug out location. Let's say you have a great homestead, you can grow everything, you can produce everything, but you're worried that in the future, powers that be might come after you for any reason, for whatever you believe, or because you stand up for the Constitution. It doesn't matter. You might want to buy a piece of property that is very secluded, very defendable, very rough, mountainous. You're not worried about homesteading because you're going to stay at your retreat right now in your primary home. But you might have to leave that, so you might want to get hey, I want to get the best secure piece of property. Yeah, I might not be there to grow crops. I might be there to hide out. So maybe some mountainous areas, some very rough areas. The rougher it is, the easier it is to disappear and to defend. You can take the advantage away from whoever it be using mechanical forces, mechanized forces, Humvees, trucks, whatever. If you can deny them the use of that and they have to go on foot, you gain an advantage. That's tactics with the guerrilla warfare. So hopefully this helps. A lot of people say, what kind of land do I need to buy? Hopefully there's some things you can look at. And if you got anything to add, just put them in the comment section. Thanks for watching.